And now the Hansons and Hiatus Podcast with Nate and Alexis.
Happy Friday, fuckers. It is episode 60 of the Hansons on Hiatus podcast. I am your host, Nate, and this is my wife, Alexis.
Hey, guys. We made it to 60. Woo!
Almost to retirement. Well, if you'd like to help us retire, buymeacoffee.com/Hansons on Hiatus. If you'd like to support the podcast, we appreciate any help that you could be. If you want to buy us one virtual beer, 2, 5, 10, does not matter. We appreciate it.
No judgment. We appreciate them all.
Yeah. And don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, Spotify, YouTube, Instagrams, iTunes. What else? Google Podcasts.
Google Podcasts.
All the casts.
All the casts.
All the casts.
Everywhere you listen to a podcast, we're there.
Yes. And video casts on Spotify and YouTube. So this past week or weekend, I think previously, or their last episode, we were talking about your brother coming in town.
Yep.
And right before he got in town, we went to the last home Interplaya soccer match.
Yes.
And found out that wasn't the last one. Well, technically it was. It was the last home match of the regular season.
Right. That's what we were telling our friends, but everyone's like, it's the last game. We're like, no, it's the last home game for the regular season.
Yes.
So.
And there's two schedules on there. And the website for our team and the Facebook and all that, they're doing better, but they haven't been great in the past trying to figure out. So what we've collected is that we have two teams. And one, it seems like almost like a varsity and a JV kind of. Not, that's not what they're called, but that's kind of what we gather. The one team seems quite a bit younger, and the other one that we've always gone to on Fridays, we felt like that was the senior team.
Yeah.
And we started like second guessing ourselves because
it's a little confusing.
it is. And we walked by the stadium where we go to run, and they have the two schedules there, and it was the last home game. For us, or for our senior team, we were figuring on Friday, and then there was one on Saturday, and we were trying to figure it out, and we were like, wait, are we going to the wrong game?
Yeah, are we going to the junior league?
Because I compare it to like American football, where high school is typically on Friday, college is on Saturday, and NFL is on Sunday. So you think a Saturday game is and Sunday would be a higher tier game because you don't want your spectators to have to come from work or whatever. Like Fridays, it's kind of like Friday Night Lights, like high school football. The parents can, get it together after work and go watch them or whatever. But Saturday, that's college game day, and then, football Sunday for the NFL. So we're like, fuck, are we like going to the wrong ones? So I go down this rabbit hole trying to figure out the Mexican soccer leagues because they're not very apparent, and they're a little confusing, and I don't know the players very well. We've really gotten into the team this season, but we aren't like Lopez over there, number 5, like he had 4 fucking assists last year, and it was great. I don't know all that stuff.
We know number 23 though from Marlos.
Yeah, but we don't know his name.
No, we just watch him.
Yeah. So I go down this rabbit hole, and I figure out, okay, so we are going to the right games. Our like quote unquote senior team, or like our higher level team, is in. I should have written down the names. They're basically in the Mexican professional leagues. There's different tiers, and our senior team is tier 3. So it is what it is. Like we enjoy that. We know that they're not like the MLS or even like pro like the different clubs in Europe and everything, but they're fun to go to.
Oh, yeah.
And since they are tier 3, it's free to get in, and you can bring your own drinks typically. Yeah. So, I mean, hey, we're having a great time.
Right up our alley.
Yeah. And then the quote unquote JV team was, they're in the 4th tier of the league, of the ligas. Okay. So there's different leagues, but then there's different levels of the leagues.
Right. So they're each on separate leagues, but they're different levels of their own league.
Yeah. So like our senior team is on the 3rd tier. Our JV-ish team is on the 4th tier.
Gotcha.
But they're actually doing better. So we saw that they're like ranked 2nd in their league. And then the senior team actually was, at the end of this last home game, we were ranked, I think, 9th or 10th out of I don't know how many teams, but you have to be in the top 8 to go on to the playoffs.
Ooh.
So we were like 9th, and we're like, they kind of treated it as the last home game. We won the last game. It was great, whatever. And then I'm paying attention because there was one other last game of the regular season for each teams, but they were both away.
Yeah.
So I'm watching that, and we are 1 point out of the playoffs for our senior team. And we won our away game like 3-1, I think. So we got 3 more points and put us in like 6th place of the league. Okay. But we had to make sure that certain people were losing their games and stuff. Like, right. So this team had to lose, to make us be able to get it. So we went to the final home game of the 4th tier team, the one that's actually second. Mm-hmm. It was great.
It was amazing.
Yeah, they let them play a little bit more. They're not so throwing cards and penalties around and stuff. We saw a guy get taken out on a stretcher.
We did. Couple.
And it went into a shootout, and we saw the entire shoot. It was tied at the end of the game, and since they were trying to figure out who's going into the playoffs or whatever, for some reason I guess they don't let it be tied.
Yeah.
Unless it was the first game of the playoffs. I don't know. But anyway, we were so it goes into a shootout, and it goes back and forth, and it comes down to the goalies shooting on each other, and our goalie shot and scored and won it for us.
Everybody went crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts. Yeah, it was super nuts. So I'm sure, you're not following these Interplaya teams, but we just found it interesting that now we kind of know, okay, this team is 3rd tier, this team is 4th tier, but we're both in the playoffs now because after that win and then the other teams lost, we ended up in 7th place out of the, to be in the top 8. So going to the playoffs, baby.
Woo, yeah, baby, Interplaya.
Yeah.
We love it because we miss, in Atlanta, we had Atlanta United. We were really
Braves
big
games,
into them.
Falcons games.
Even Orlando. We had the Orlando Pride. Are they still Pride?
No, we had the now I can't think of it. The Pride is the female team.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking it is.
Orlando City. Orlando City Soccer, yeah.
So simple. But we were big into them, and then we moved, and then we're big into Atlanta, and then we moved. So this is next best thing.
Yeah, and it's like a half a block from our house, and we can bring all of our shit with, and
perfect.
It's just a fun thing to do with friends or whatever. But yeah, it's a good time.
I think it's a great time, and all of our friends love it. Maybe not all of them, but most of them, they love coming and seeing, like, what sporting event don't you want to go to? I don't care what it is. I'm going. I'm having some day drinks. I'm talking to my friends. I'm watching the game. It's all around fun.
And it was fun because this last one that we went where there was a shootout. It was just you and I.
Yeah.
Because I think the previous game. We're with all of our friends as normal, but they were like, this is boring. I'm like, y'all have been fucking talking the whole time. Yes. You don't even know what's going on. That's why it's boring to you.
It was a little bit of a slower game.
It was like 1-1 or something.
I think they were trying to protect some people, like their best people for the next games or like the playoffs or whatever, because people were trying to being a little touch and go, and then flags everywhere.
Well, and also I think they kind of didn't think that they were in the playoffs. So maybe they were just trying, not even protecting people, but protecting themselves from getting hurt before the end of the season. Like, why get hurt on the last game?
I don't blame them.
If you're not going to the playoffs. I don't know.
Right?
True, bad. We enjoy it. And the one that we went to was just you and I. I had a great time because you and I we decided where we wanted to go ourselves. We're like, okay, we're going to go to this bar or whatever beforehand, and then you and I went to the game by ourselves, and we could just talk to each other and pay attention to the game actually. And
it was a really good game.
It was great. Yeah. Good time. But that was right before your brother got in town, and he was in town for his birthday, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was his birthday was on April 4th, and then he planned this trip around a music festival in Cancun, EDM, whatever you want to call it, festival.
Yeah, EDM festival.
So they were planning for that for his birthday, and he reached out, was like, hey, it's not till, the weekend. How about I come earlier in the week and spend the whole week with you guys, and we can just chill or do whatever, do some Mexico things. Like, that's great because we really don't get to see him a lot. So he came for the week, and he brought two friends.
Yeah, one guy and one girl. Yep. And they all stayed in one of our rentals.
Casa Hanson.
Yeah. And I've never really felt like old, like around other, just being around other kids. I usually get along with the younger kids or the younger crowd or whatever. But this group kind of made me feel like that. Because
how so?
Well, and I know it sounds, the way it's going to sound, it sounds terrible, but like, they don't drink and they don't smoke,
right?
And which is totally fine. But when you come to kind of a party beach town, And I mean, and sorry, they don't not do these things.
Right.
They were like, when they got there, we're like, all right, let's go, grab some tacos and some margaritas or a beer or whatever. And they had like one beer.
Yeah.
And then they were like, and we're like, oh, you guys want to go somewhere else? And they're like, no, let's just go back and hang out at the pool.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, okay. And so when we got back to the house, I'm thinking, they're like ravers. They go to all these like EDM festivals and parties and stuff.
Yeah.
Your brother's been doing it for 10 years.
Yep.
So I'm thinking, okay, well, and then these other friends, so I was trying to like, help them out if they, needed whatever. So I was like, hey, I got some pot if you guys want to smoke a joint or something. And they're both like, nah, we're good.
Meh.
Yeah. And so like kind of most of the time I'm like, all right, well, what do we do with these kids? Like, I figured they want to like go fucking rage at one of these nightclubs. We show them all the nightclubs and the bars and everything. So
they did do that one night.
Yeah, they did.
We declined.
Yeah, but and like I said, they didn't not drink or smoke or anything like that.
Right.
But it was very weird that they just got to Mexico and they were like not about that at all. Which I feel like our generation and even the couple generations right behind us would be all about that. Like, let's get the fucking tequila shots flowing, the margaritas, let's smoke some joints. Like, none of that.
Let me say two things to that. So, number one, he had already reached out and said, hey, we really want to chill this week because we're going to be doing a lot of partying at the festival, at the concert this weekend. So that's understandable. They're like, we want to, go to the beach, go to the pool, maybe a Cozumel day, but we don't need any crazy excursions. We want to like relax and chill because we want like half vacation and then we're going to go party. Number two, I think it was so refreshing that I didn't have to chase 20 and 30-year-olds around or deal with issues because they were too drunk or too high or both. I wasn't cleaning up puke or helping one of his friends, find our place or calling the cops or any. There was none of that. Everything was nice and smooth. Nothing was broken. Nothing was destroyed. I was happy about it. Like, if you guys do you, whatever you want to do. We still had fun with them. They had fun in Mexico too. We had a great time.
Yeah. That's true. The other thing that like was a little hard to do what we normally do with people that come to visit us or just in town or whatever is try to plan out things to do.
Right.
They weren't much help on that. Like,
we pretty much forced them to go to Cozumel. We're like, you guys need to see an island while you're here.
Yeah, well, it's like two of them had never been out of the country before, and then your brother has, but he'd never been to Playa del Carmen. So we're like, we want to show him where we live and what we do and fun things to do. And so we're asking them, like, you guys want to do this? You want to do that? And they're very indecisive. They're not. It's not like at least if you don't like to do something, just say, nah, I'm not really into that, which would be great. But it was very hard to be. Where do you guys want to go to eat? What do you want to have?
Yeah. My brother was pretty much making the call or the shots afterwards for them. Like, where do you want to go? And it was kind of catered around him for his birthday trip. But yeah, same thing. We're like, pulling teeth. Do you guys want to do anything? Do you want us to leave you alone? Do you want us to send you somewhere? Do you want us to come with? They were like very easygoing, very agreeable. So I don't know. Well, some people are just like that. Some people have like a plan when they come and we're like, okay, let's do all the things. They were just like, we just want to see you guys and relax.
Well, it was like we were at the beach and they said, oh, we're starving. And I was like, well, we can just go grab some snacks here or something. And like, no, they want to eat lunch. So we left and we're like, okay, let's go. Like, we'll leave the beach and then go get something to eat and then go to the pool. And we walked by this one pizza by the slice place. Like, hey, you guys want pizza? No, they want that because Mexico. They want to have like Mexican food. Got that, totally. So we go and get some empanadas and they didn't get any. And so we're like, okay, I thought we left to go eat. Yeah. And so then we went up to the pool and then they were like, yeah, well, none of us are hungry. It's like, I thought that's why we left though.
It was weird. They were still hungry though, but I think they were concerned like what the empanadas were, because I was explaining things a lot, like a couple of times. I'm in Mexico, I don't want pizza. Yeah, we understand. So here's empanadas and tacos and this and that. And, I think they wanted the more general Mexico
They
stuff.
wanted to eat out of a Mayan clay pot.
Something, yeah, they either wanted like something super Mexican, but not at the same time. I don't know.
I know like where we had gone, it's Go Mart. It's like a convenience store or whatever. But it's still made by Mexicans. We're in Mexico. Like the empanadas are Mexican made.
Yeah.
It's not like like some Americans flying down here to make some empanadas for you.
Yeah,
or something.
I think so. I think also that they're used to that lifestyle. We go out to eat, we're going and we're sitting down and we're having a drink and we're having food and whatever. We don't do that for every meal. We cook at home a lot, or we grab something easily. He was like, I want to sit and eat. We're like, all right, let's,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we don't. We kind of like grab and go type of
Yeah.
things most of the time, except for like dinners or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's also the hard thing when people are in town and you're hanging out with them multiple days is they're not at home. So they're going out to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And like we are at home, and I don't want to do that all the time.
I know. Or we
like we don't have to go to breakfast every day. Not like they were making us, but
it
was like we like to just kind of do our own things. So like eat breakfast at home and then eat dinner out or something.
For sure. I mean, it saves money. We can't go out, eat out all the time. And then time. We don't have time to go sit at a restaurant for 2 hours a pop. Like, I really don't.
No.
And I don't know if I want to.
And then the other thing we had a problem with was cash and pesos. Which normally, I mean, in
There's
Playa del
always a
Carmen,
problem.
typically you are fine without pesos.
Yeah.
Or even cash in general.
Yeah.
It's nice to have that, though, in case there's some little things, or you have to pay each other because
Split a bill.
people don't like to split bills or whatever. But generally, you can use a credit card. So we're trying to get them to get some pay. Like, hey guys, you might want to get like a little bit of pesos just to have it, and
Especially when we go to Cozumel.
first night, and then we put that off. Then we're like, hey, tomorrow we're going to Cozumel. The east side of the island is no cards. It is cash only. It'd probably be a good idea if we went and got some pesos.
Yeah.
And your brother's friend was like, oh, and we were out walking around, and he's like, I don't have my card with me. And I was like, well, we can just run back to the apartment. He's like, no, like I didn't bring it. He only brought one credit card and then a bunch of USD cash. And I was like, okay, well, we can get that exchange if you want. But I mean, if you don't care about the exchange rate, you can, I guess, pay with your USD. You're getting a terrible rate, by the way, anybody that's coming down here. Get some fucking pesos. Either get them at your bank before you come or just take it out of the ATM when you get here.
Yeah.
You're just losing money using USD.
That's what we tell people. Just wait. I mean, everyone has USD on them, and I think it's like a thing. Like you should have like a little bit of cash on you when you're traveling.
Sure.
You don't know who you need to tip or whatever. But we tell people, just wait till you get here. Get here. We'll take you to the grocery store. Those are very safe ATMs. Don't use the random little one-off ATMs on the street.
Yeah.
But just bring some USD, and not a lot. You don't need a lot. We're not going to exchange it. Just pull money out of the ATM. But then you run into that where a lot of people don't bring their ATM cards.
Yeah. So I talked about it. I was like, okay, well, just bring your cash tomorrow. And he's like, how much? And I was like, I don't know, like $60 to $100 just to be safe.
Yeah.
You don't have to use it, but there are like 3 or 4 places that we're going to go that take cash.
Yeah.
So then nobody did that, of course, the day before. Then the day we're leaving, we're going to the ferry. We get on the ferry and nobody got cash ahead of time. And we're like, oh, we'll get it when we get there. Mm-hmm. So we get there. I leave you and them at the bank, and I go get the rental car.
Yeah.
And nobody got cash. So I still haven't talked to you about this. Why didn't this fucking happen?
I'm not certain, but I felt defeated and was like, let's go find Nate. I just stopped. I took them to an ATM, showed it to him. No one wanted to use the ATM. They all had some USD, and they're like, yeah, we'll be fine. Each one of them had like a little bit of cash, and we'll figure it out. All right, cool, because me and Nate only have so many pesos. We're not loaded, so, but.
Yeah, because I brought like $60, $70.
Yeah, they just, I don't know, didn't want to. Didn't need it. Didn't
so,
want it.
So I'm thinking, like, your brother's friend showed me he had a bunch of cash, and so, or USD, like the day before, and so I'm thinking, okay, well, he's just going to bring that, and you're just not going to get as good a rate. No. So we take off across the island, which is a road through the middle of the jungle, and that's when you lose. There's no power, running water, or anything. We're out there. Yeah. And we go to this first place to eat lunch, and sometimes they will take a card there. Sometimes they have like a satellite phone that'll work, but this day they weren't. And so they were, they were getting the fajitas and the margaritas and all the things and everything like that. And so we go there, so we eat there, and then we go to the next place, and we all are going to split drinks. And the bill comes, and I was like, okay, well, I was like, I can get ours. Like, how much? And they're like, well, we got like 5. And then your brother's like, oh, I don't have any money. And then the other kid goes, yeah, I got a little bit. And I was like, what the fuck?
This is stop number 2. We told you guys.
So they had to scrounge together to pay for that drink. And then we just basically had to go to the other side of the island because none of them brought cash, even though I said it 20 times.
I know. Well, the other thing too, it was like, I think my brother paid the first place we went. He obviously used a bunch of his cash for them for that. Then we go to the second place and we literally bought 2 margaritas, 2 blue margaritas. That was it. We paid for ours. And then the 3 of them shared one and they're looking at us with $5. I'm like, I don't know what to do with that. I only have so much pesos on me. We need it for the next place too, or to do whatever.
Yeah.
And the one kid pulls out his big wad of cash finally. And it was like, oh, okay, I guess I can pay it. And then you guys Venmo me. What the fuck?
Yeah. But he didn't.
What?
But he didn't have a big wad of cash. It was a big wad of like 5s. Like he had like $50
I
maybe,
just saw
or $40.
his like old school, like the little envelopes.
Yeah, you got it at the bank.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, I haven't seen one of those in a while.
Yeah, so yeah.
Kids.
Yeah, kids.
I know. But even the adults we bring over there, I mean, they're adults. I'm sorry, I say kids because it's my younger brother and his friends. But we've brought adults there too. Same thing. Oh, I ran out. Yeah, that's what happens when you use your money and then you don't have any more. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And it sucks because you're over there, so ain't nothing you can do.
Yeah.
So,
it worked out.
It's all right. Yeah, it worked out. But just to let you know, if you guys are going to Cozumel and going to the right side of the island, you need cash. You absolutely need cash if you want to buy anything.
Yeah,
that's how places work.
Even Coconuts didn't take card anymore. So I think all of them on the backside, no cards anymore. I'm just gonna not plan on that.
No, it wasn't even anymore. Like they just don't take it.
Yeah. Well, there was like one of them.
Yeah, that was Senior Iguanas. Yeah. But that's where we ate. And
no more.
They didn't take it. No.
Nope.
Yeah. There is this other bar on the right side of Cozumel, and it is called Coconuts. Mm-hmm. And we've been there many times, and we just recently learned that the reason it's called Coconuts is you can ask your waiter, this is not advertised anywhere,
No.
You can ask your waiter, can I see the books? And he brings these books out. It has this little emblem that says like no photography on it. And you open it up and it's all booby pictures. And it's
Coconuts.
Yeah. And so I guess like, I don't know how long they've been doing this, but if you show your boobs to, or take a picture with your boobs out, they will give you a free shot. I heard 1 per boob. Like, yeah, like 1 shot per boob.
That's what he offered me and my brother's friend. He said, hey, 2 boobies, 2 shots. I was like, excuse me? No, this is my brother. And he was like, wow.
Which makes sense because he asked me if you were my girlfriend or wife.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why.
Yeah, I was like, no, sir.
So we get the books and we're looking through them, and I don't know. It's weird. A lot of them are from like the early 2000s. They don't seem like newish.
They've been doing this for a minute.
Yeah. And I'm flipping through this one book and I go, oh my God, this guy is so familiar. There's a guy with his girlfriend or I don't know, mom or whatever.
Oh God.
And it is our old neighbor. It was a guy that used to live in our building from, I think, Sweden or Switzerland or something. But
God.
I was like, I know that guy.
I can't believe you picked him out.
I know. I was like, I don't know that girl, but I know that guy. And then, so I'm flipping through the books, and I flip through this one page and I see this lady and I'm like, oh my God, what is wrong with one of her boobs? It's like all deformed. Like the other one's pretty nice, but that one, I was like, it had no nipple or anything. And then I look in a little closer. It was a bald dude sucking her titty. His whole bald head was covering her boob.
Gross.
And I didn't even realize what it was. Yeah. And so that was a thing. And I know you're not supposed to take pictures of these, but this is for research, and I'm blurring them out loud. So.
We did it for you guys.
Yeah. And I go to the next one, the next page, and I'm looking at it. And some of the girls didn't want to show their boobs. They just show their butts. Yeah. And I don't know if they got a shot or not.
I didn't get that option.
All right. Yeah. And so some are showing the butts. So there's this other photo, and it's a girl showing her boobs and another girl showing her butt. And I was like, ew, that butt. Like, you need to, like, shave your crack or something.
Oh, my God.
It was dark in there. And I look a little bit closer. It was a dude. I'm, like, checking out this guy's ass.
Too much detail. Oh my God.
Yeah. That's so if you ever go to Coconuts in Cozumel, make sure you ask for the books.
Ask for the books. Give him the little winky wink. Yeah. That's what you get for looking too close.
I know. He gave me the little winky wink.
Gross.
Yeah. And other than that, where else did we do? Oh, So we want to take them snorkeling. So we go to this place called Genie's, 2-for-1s there. And not very many people there, like 2 ladies. And then there's this one little boy. I don't know. I can't judge children. How old is this kid? Like 6?
Yeah, there we go.
Maybe like a little, butt-ass naked.
Little.
Yeah, I mean, he's a little guy, but butt-ass naked.
Yeah.
So he's running around all naked. And we're like, all right, whatever. Maybe, I don't know what the deal was. She was just like, let him be free.
She took his diaper off and cleaned his butt. Me and my brother watched her wipe his butt and then proceeded to let him run around naked at the restaurant.
Oh my God. And so this lady comes over to our table and starts talking to us. And she was German, right? Yeah, she was German.
Yep.
German accent. And so we just start talking about, I was like, I went to Frankfurt last year to whatever. Find out this is her kid. And so she sits down at the table with us and just starts talking. And then her other friend comes over and then she's talking to us as well. And the woman from Germany with her little naked baby, or not even baby, 6-year-old, comes up. He jumps up on her lap and he's like a little monkey, like a little, what was the kid's name in Jungle Book? Mowgli?
Oh, Mowgli.
Yeah, a little Mowgli just bouncing all around. And his legs somehow go over his head. And I'm like looking at her and I'm staring right into this kid's like taint. It was like, get it out of here. Get this little naked baby out of here. And without missing a beat, she's having a conversation with us and just pulls her tit out and just puts this kid's head on her boob. And I don't know the laws or the rules or anything about pregnancy. But when is the cutoff for
I was like in Mexico
drinking milk for breastfeeding?
Maybe he was at 6. Maybe he was like 4 or 5.
No, this kid, he could talk. I think
he was talking.
Yeah. I think he drove away on his motorcycle.
Oh,
like this kid was not young, and so that was weird. And just no big deal. Like I don't care if you're gonna breastfeed. It was just like, give me a little bit of heads up maybe before I see a child's butthole and your titty all in like 5 seconds. Like I was just like, whoa.
I'm so happy I wasn't. They were like behind me, so I didn't see all that. I did see your face and being like, or whatever. Number one, why are you sitting at my table, lady, breastfeeding? You have your own table. We were just talking as you're passing by, talking about beer or whatever. Move on.
Yeah.
Take your naked baby and your boob out of here. We're drunk having a good time and you're sitting here ruining my day.
Yeah. It was disturbing.
Yes. You were scarred for life.
Yeah. And then then where did we go? Then we went to this coffee place and we all got these coffee drinks. Like you and I got carajillos and your brother got like a espresso martini.
That's the new cool thing, I guess, for all the kids.
Oh, yeah.
Drinking espresso martinis. They're all jacked up on espresso.
I know. Well, and it's annoying because I don't know what the deal is with martinis, but who came up with these glasses? They're the worst fucking glasses ever. You get like a splash of drink in this weird cylinder. It's like you're drinking out of a COVID mask.
Like, good luck.
And it's like when you get drunk off martinis, you're sloshing around and all that shit's just sloshing right out. But so we all got our drinks and we go and we cheers everybody and I cheers your brother and I was filming it so I hit it a little too hard because my depth perception and it like knocked like half of his drink out. I'm like, fuck.
His look on his face and his like, man, totally my dad. His whole demeanor, I just looked over and I thought he was my dad for a second. He was just like, man. But he was fine. I think you poured some of your
Maybe.
And
I paid him for half of his drink.
There you go.
The half I spilled.
I'll split it with you.
Yeah. Well, so that was our trip. And then the following day, we were supposed to take him to Tulum to see the Tulum ruins. But nobody really got up early. And I think your brother's buddy ended up going.
Yeah, like noon.
Yeah.
He's like, well, heading out to Tulum now. We're like, okay, see you tomorrow. Like, see you tonight.
Yeah. So I didn't feel like it either. So
no, I'm glad. My brother was like, not in this trip. Next time. But he did say, he's like, this gives me reason to come back because I see all the things that you guys do and that we could have done. So I got to come back and actually do like an excursion trip.
Yeah.
He'll be back.
And Alex, if you're listening, we had a great time with you guys here. No hard feelings. I was just telling the stories about what happened.
We love you. We're just giving you shit.
I hope everybody had a great time. It was a lot of fun.
They had fun. They had a lot of fun.
And this is kind of related to Cozumel, but also Playa del Carmen. So I think it was last week or the week before, and you just left Just left our apartment. And then sometimes you'll do that. You'll run over to like one of the rentals to like clean something or, get something ready or whatever, or run downstairs for whatever reason, get a package or something. And I'm sitting in the living room, quote unquote living room.
Yeah.
And it's been a while, and I thought we were going to the gym or to the track to go run. Yeah. So it'd been like 10, 15 minutes, and I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to go because I'm just sitting here. And so I go to the track. I do my whole workout. I come back. It's been like an hour and a half since you left. And I had messaged you. I was like, hey, Lex, I'm going to the track. I'll just meet you there or whatever. Then when I'm there, I'm like, hey, I was like, are you okay? And that was the other thing. When you left our apartment, you left your phone here. So right. I'm like, great. So I can't see like where you are. I can't shoot you a message or whatever. So after I'd left, I was like hoping you had came back and seen your phone, and it'd been like an hour and you didn't respond. And then I was like, hey, get a little worried about you. Are you okay? It's been an hour and a half. And usually if you were going somewhere, yep. you would tell me, or like, hey, I'm going to run to the grocery store or whatever. But then I'm having all these things run through my head. What if she got pulled into somebody's apartment? Or what if you were got locked out on a balcony or got stuck in the elevator or something like that? Nobody's responding. And then I get home. And you're still not here, and then you fucking pop back in, like, and
hey, what's up?
Where the fuck did you go?
Well, my girlfriend Fasana was staying next door, and she usually isn't right next door, so I was going over there a lot, hanging out with her, and we should have a husband-wife podcast. Like, what did the wife hear? What did the husband hear? Because I said, I'll be right back. I'm taking her some coffee, because I had made a pot of coffee, and you don't drink coffee, right. So I'm like, I'm going to take her the rest. I had just got one of those, I don't even know what it's called, little robot coffee maker man.
Yeah, one of those robot penis old coffee machine.
Fancy kind of thing. She's moving back to Canada, so she gifted it to me. So I'm like, hey, while you're still here, you probably still need coffee. Brought her some coffee. I said, I'll be right back. I was not right back, so I did lie. But I did say, I'll be right back, because I left my phone. I really wouldn't go far without my phone. And then what her and I thought was like a 30-minute conversation apparently was an hour and a half. Yep. And that's where I was. We're both sitting there over there in our jammies, sipping coffee and whatever. And then I literally said to her, I got to go back over there and let Nate know I'm alive. He probably thinks I'm dead. And she's like, oh, my God, I came over here. I don't think you had been. Oh, yeah, you were back already. You were like, where the fuck have you been? Yeah. I thought you were dead. So I really appreciate you worrying about me, or, being worried. Next time, just go knock on some of my girlfriend's doors. Hey, anyone see Alexis? Or in the group chat.
Why would I do that?
Anyone see Alexis? She's in the building somewhere. I can't find her. I don't know, because you're concerned about me.
I know. Well, I actually left the track earlier because I thought I was sitting there, like I had messaged you earlier, and I was like, if this turns into something bad, I'm going to like be that guy like, yeah, she was being, kidnapped by this guy and held for ransom in his closet, and her husband was just at the track going on a run, like just not doing it. And if he would have acted sooner, he would have been able to save her. But the kidnapper threw her off the balcony, and it was all his fault. So I was like, fuck, I gotta go back.
I think it's safe to say we watch too many murder shows now.
Hey,
too many
those things are real, though, so that shit happened.
Yeah, but the husband-wife murder mystery, the neighbor murder mystery, maybe we watch a little too many.
Even if I did hear you say that you were going to give somebody coffee,
yeah,
it was an hour and a half.
I know, it was. Her and I there's just some people, you just talk and talk and talk, which I'm not a huge talker. I don't sit there and talk on the phone. My longest conversation is probably with my mother. Mm-hmm. Occasionally that's an hour and a half. So her and I, once we get talking, we just talk about everything. She's a newer friend that I met, and we have a lot to talk about. So I don't know. So sorry. Yeah. I love you for being concerned about me.
Yeah, no problem.
Next time I usually always take my phone. I will take my phone, and then I will check in with you and let you know I'm alive.
And then you were like, so are we going to the gym? I was like, I've already went. I was there for an hour.
I was so sad that I missed our gym workout. Well, like I went and worked out after, but I was so sad that I don't think I could talk. I don't even know if I could talk to you on this for an hour and a half without being like, shit, I got to get going or something. I don't have anything to do, but I got to go.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, and I said this kind of relates to Cozumel because there was this, still ongoing, I guess, this sad story of this guy Brad, him and his wife were on a cruise, and apparently this guy Brad has dementia. Mm-hmm. He is like kind of, I don't know if it's Alzheimer's or whatever it is. Like,
it's really like aggressive.
Yeah.
Sounds like dementia.
So he's like really kind of declining. And so his family or his wife or whatever said, let's go on one last trip together, because she's like basically his caretaker. And I believe they were from Tennessee or South Carolina, maybe South Carolina, but they're in the Southeast somewhere. Yeah. And so like she was his caretaker, and they were both nurses, you know. I believe she's retired now or whatever, and he was a nurse as well. And they're on this cruise, and from what I understand, they get off the cruise ship and they both go to the restroom, and apparently he got out of the restroom before she did and kind of panicked and just booked it. Because, you know, when you're getting off all those, when you get all those people are coming off the cruise, probably gets a little scary with, you know, tons of people running around. Yeah. And so he just like took off, and this was like maybe 4 weeks ago almost, and they have not found him. It's been a while. It was like an island-wide search, and so that's almost what I called for you, Alexis, because I did not know where you were.
All of Playa, we don't know where you are.
Yeah, but no. But so like there was like 1 or 2 sightings of him like on security cameras, and there's not a ton of security cameras in Cozumel. Like it's you know,
some
it's a modest city, so there's not a ton around.
Modest.
So he was kind of getting like, there was one security camera, one taxi driver said he drove him somewhere, but he didn't have any money, so he paid him with his watch. And then, you know, like he doesn't have any ID, he doesn't have a passport, he has no money, he has like nothing, because his wife was his caretaker, so she like held on to all of that.
Yeah.
So they've been looking at like everybody on the island, you know, all tourists that were like coming in for their vacation spent their time looking for him, and there just hasn't been any sightings for him in a few weeks.
There's no body, there's no nothing.
Yeah, and that's like the military came in, I believe, like kind of like an EquiSearch, like a professional search company is also came in, and they've been searching the jungle. They've cased the entire city, but even though it's like a small island, it's still like 250 square miles of jungle out there. So they've been looking in like abandoned houses and stuff to see if he like took shelter in there. People are like, how is he surviving? And some people either I can't remember if they saw him or speculated that he was going to churches and drinking water out of like the sinks and stuff like that. But you still got to have food and whatever. So, and then they've also been talking about, well, there might be people helping him, like giving him food or whatever, but they just don't know that he's missing because they're maybe not on social media or have phones or anything.
I think someone has him in a good way. Like, I think a family took him in and is trying to figure out what's going on. You would think they would have figured it out by now, or heard from the local news or their church or friends or neighbors that this man is missing. But I don't know. I'm hoping that he's with someone. And my question is, the taxi driver, he didn't have money to pay, so he paid with his watch. That's great. But why, you would think the taxi driver would be like, no, I'm going to keep you here. Let me call the police. And then everything would have been solved, like to just keep him there. And how did he barter with him? Like, I want to know that story.
Well, and that was the other thing they said. If you see him, don't like run up to him and be like, Brad, like whatever, because he's at a dementia state where he gets like frightened or whatever, and he like will run. Like they said, he walks really fast. He loves straight lines. He will just run, whatever. So I'm assuming he doesn't speak Spanish. So he probably got in a taxi. I don't know what the fuck he told him.
Yeah.
But when he got to where he was going, he probably had like the language barrier and knew he didn't have any money. So he was probably like, you know, giving him his watch. And if he had a really nice watch, the taxi driver might be like, hey, this is probably like a $5 ride. You're giving me like a $200 watch. I'll do that, you know?
But that would have been like red flags for me. Like, this is more. And maybe the taxi driver did. Maybe he tried to keep him, or maybe he tried to follow him.
But he didn't know he was missing. He didn't know who this guy was. He's just looking at.
Weird though.
But not really, because think of all the shit that they see there with like tourists, you know, like they get to an island and have no fucking cash, you know, like that kind of thing. So I'm just saying, like, he could have. They probably deal with like people with exchange rates and not having the right amount of 500 pesos. I only have like a $5 US, or you know, like what, like people on vacation often can be silly and not plan things out correctly, or not. Oh, I didn't know I had to pay money for this. People always act dumb on vacation, like they don't know how things.
That could be a regular thing for them.
But anyway,
I hope they find him.
I do too. I mean,
know.
it's more of a recovery mission at this point because I don't think anybody has him. I could see that maybe for a little while, but it's such widely spread news. And why are you keeping this white guy for like 3 weeks or whatever? And another thing I wanted to talk about is Cozumel is very, very safe.
Yeah.
It is not there's not like the corruption that there can be in some of the other, like even in Playa del Carmen, with cartels or anything like that. Like it's a very, like, I don't think that anything malicious happened to him. I don't think anybody like killed him or anything like that on purpose or anything, It's like it's a community. It's a good community. It's a small village basically. So
probably. And they said he didn't like water. He doesn't like water really either. That was my thing. Like, did he fall in the water?
Swimming water, not like drinking water.
Yeah. Like swimming.
He says, fuck water, fuck food.
Yeah. He's not jumping in the ocean or jumping in, a cenote or something. But I would be concerned if, like, what if he fell and hit his head and then he's laying somewhere and no one found him? But I don't know. Just the area of Cozumel, it's crazy to me that no one has spotted him yet, but also, like you're saying, there's a bunch of tourists there all the time. There's 5 cruise ships every day, pretty much. So all those people are coming in and out. The majority are white people. So
so I don't know. It's a sad story. I hope they find closure, like, find him or something. Like,
find him.
There was a story, 1993, a guy from Missouri got lost in the jungle in Cozumel, and he survived for 19 days.
Oh.
But also, I think he was a younger guy or whatever. So I guess it's technically possible, but more than likely, probably not. I just don't know why he would wander in the jungle. It just doesn't really make sense. And I can't imagine his wife, how she feels, because, it's like,
probably beside herself.
Yeah, she's like basically lost her husband, and somebody speculated that, maybe like he knew he was being a burden, so he tried to like end his life or whatever, which I can't imagine. If you were worried about your family having to look after you, why would you like do that and have them all searching for you and just heartbroken over it like that? I don't think that happened.
What if he got on, I'm sure this is possible or not possible, what if he got on another cruise ship? I know they check your stuff, but maybe he just slid in somewhere and he's in Europe and nobody knows.
No, I don't think that's possible. It's like getting on, you can't get on the wrong plane really. It's like you have to scan your thing at the gate, and if it ain't that one, they ain't letting you on.
True.
So and just being that cruise ships stop all over the world and to some places that maybe people would want to flee from. Yeah. I'm sure they make it very difficult to get on a cruise ship if you're not on there.
True.
Yeah. So
and he's not going to take the ferry over to Playa because you need money for that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, he's got to be somewhere over there.
I know I really have no idea.
I hope they find him.
The only thing I can think of is that he got lost in the jungle and just kind of, starved or something.
Yeah,
but but again, why would you keep going into the jungle?
Right.
Like,
even with dementia, let's just say he has a 10-year-old's brain capacity or younger. Even children know, hey, this is the woods and it's dark and scary and there's animals and you can hear stuff there. So you would go towards cars or people or the street. But there's a lot of jungle. So maybe he got turned around and he's there. He doesn't know how to get out.
I just hope he didn't I don't know if are there cenotes in Cozumel?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Really? I've never seen one or heard about one.
I've never seen him either.
Yeah. You're like, yes. Totally. Believe me.
Facts.
Yeah, that's how you do it these days. You just say facts after
facts.
It makes it true.
I would assume there are cenotes in Cozumel, but I'm not certain.
Yeah. Well, but what I was saying, if they do have any, like even small cenotes, if he fell into one or fell into a hole and it couldn't get out, that might be, what happened as well. Who knows? But yeah, super sad stories. Hopefully they'll find some closure at some point.
Yes. We wish them the best. We hope they find Brad and hope he's
but everybody has been looking for him.
Everyone.
So if he is out there, somebody will spot him. Yeah. So anyway, end the podcast on a good note.
Yeah.
But you take your phone with you.
I will have my phone with me. Maybe I get a little air tag on me somewhere. A little necklace.
Yeah. What do we got going on this weekend? Not much, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Another soccer game.
I think we have
Oh, it's the Derby this week, Kentucky Derby.
Oh yeah, that's
Saturday.
right.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah. That'll be fun.
Yes.
I guess. I don't know. Like what is it? How long is it?
The
It's
Kentucky
like
Derby?
don't they say it's like the quickest 30 seconds in sports or whatever.
Yeah,
you know,
pretty much.
like
It's
that.
like a whole day event, but then the race is only, a couple minutes.
I have no desire to go to that, like the actual event. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure if I got free tickets, I'd go, but
Yeah.
I don't want to go. Like,
When-
I'm not a fancy person. I don't like to dress up. I don't
Right.
like to be with the highfalutin crowd.
Honestly, I would think this would be your cup of tea besides the dress up part. So it's a daytime drinking socialization event that you get to watch a sport and, hang out with your friends. So that's like right up our alley. The only thing is, you're supposed to dress a little nicer. I love the big hats. I think it's just not as fun for guys. Maybe this is like a girls thing. Like, this is our day drinking event where we get to dress up in pretty things and flowers and have a fun time.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I'm not a fan. I mean, like, I enjoy watching and I'll go to a party here or something and wear some stupid hat, but I don't want to be sweating in a suit in Kentucky. That's not my jam.
No. The Kentucky Derby makes me think of oh my God, what's the Julia Roberts movie where she's like the prostitute?
Pretty Woman?
Pretty Woman. Jeez, Louise.
Ugly Woman.
Every time, like, I couldn't, Julia? No. Every time I think of the Kentucky Derby, I think of that movie.
No.
They have a whole scene. You've never seen Pretty Woman?
Not since like 1989.
You gave me a look and I already knew you haven't seen it.
I've seen it,
Oh,
but
okay.
like, do they talk about the Kentucky Derby?
Well,
there?
he takes Julia Roberts to the Kentucky Derby with the highfalutin friends, and they know she's not highfalutin, but she gets along with everybody. They're like hanging out, and I remember them. It's like a break where they stomp in all the divots, I guess, for where the horses pull up. I don't know.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah. So you're stomping grass and drinking booze and dressing up.
Yeah. Yeah, it might be not to be too terrible.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Not my jam.
Yeah.
Not my jam. But if it is yours, enjoy.
We'll
But
see how Playa does it.
yes. But don't forget to support the podcast. buymeacoffee.com/Hansons on hiatus. You can buy us some virtual beers if you're enjoying our stories and, just stories about our life.
Please
What's
and
going
thank
on?
you.
Yeah. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot us a message on Facebook, on my Did You Do Nate page, or at Hansons on hiatus on Instagram. But also don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, iTunes, Google Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcasts.
Yes.
But hope you guys have a great, safe rest of your weekend. Happy Friday, fuckers.
Happy Friday, fuckies.
That's it. Thanks for listening. Goodbye for now. Bye.